The Kanjira, dates back quite long ago. It's a frame drum, so you have a lizard skin that's tension-based, wrapped around the frame, which is a wooden frame. And essentially you put water, some small amounts of water, and you kind of spread it evenly through the membrane to kind of get a tension. And you get a really low, bassy sound. And then because of the water in the membrane becomes very stretched, so you can actually control tension. So, right, and this is something that's actually, fairly simple to do, but many times I've found it pretty impressive for, especially like a Western audience, because there aren't that many instruments that have this sort of a dynamic range. So that's very interesting about the Kanjira. Also, in terms of its evolution, it started out as a frame drum, and then it's still a frame drum, but now they've come out with synthetic models to replace the lizard skin, and that's I think Remo has a good one that's kind of branded by Kanjira Vidyasankar Ganesh, and in fact I also use that. I think I'm going to bring it to the day of the show, because sometimes, especially in like a show or like a kind of set orchestrated scenario, you may not have time to tune, or it's better to kind of not move around too much and do a lot of tuning. So that Kanjira, once you tune it and you have it kind of set in one sort of temperature and space, it kind of stays that way. So that bass sound is there, and and the feel and look is kind of almost similar to the real Kanjira. So I think that's probably the closest one I've seen. I think there's a Cooperman by Ganesh Kumar. It's also a good Kanjira, and that has also tunable and synthetic drum. But the look isn't as similar as the Remo Kanjira. In terms of conical, evolution-wise, like I said, I have heard of it being used in an accompaniment scenario, but as a standalone kind of, on its own vocal percussion entity, it hasn't been, used that much. But my guru is probably one of the proponents of that, and then their family, Subhash Anantapadmanabhan and his family, they kind of use conical a lot. And in fact, this tour, I was just on a tour with O.S. Tyagarajan sir, and he asked me to incorporate conical in all of my Taniharthanams. So whenever it was apt, I kind of did a Taniharthanam that included conical plus mridangam. So maybe that's something to look into in the future, hopefully.